The emergency klaxon shattered the silence of the throne room at 3 a.m. Queen Victoria Hayes was already awake, standing at the observation window overlooking New Geneva, when her military advisor burst through the doors. His face was ashen. "Your Majesty, the Krythian fleet has broken through." "The outer colonies?" His voice cracked. "They're gone, all of them." Victoria's reflection in the glass showed no emotion, but her fingers whitened around the crystal tumbler in her hand. "Casualties? Estimates are coming in at 12 million. Your Majesty, the colony ship Providence was in the Henderson system when—" The glass shattered against the floor. Victoria's daughter, Elena, had been aboard the Providence, 23 years old, leading a terraforming initiative, full of hope for humanity's future among the stars. Had been. "Assemble the council," Victoria said, her voice like winter steel. "Immediately!" Within the hour, the Galactic Council's holographic representatives materialized in the chamber. 17 alien species, each more advanced than humanity, each supposedly bound by treaties of mutual defense. Victoria stood before them in her formal regalia, every inch a sovereign, though inside her chest a mother's heart was screaming. "The Krythian armada has committed genocide against human colonies," she began. "Under Article 7 of the Mutual Defense Compact, I formally request immediate military intervention." Ambassador Zekthor of the Velkrin Collective spoke first, his translator rendering his clicking mandibles into cold, clinical words. "Queen Hayes, we sympathize with your loss. However, the compact contains specific exemptions for conflicts deemed terminal in nature." "Terminal?" Victoria's voice could have frozen hydrogen. "The Krythian military force outnumbers your entire fleet 300 to 1. Explained Ambassador Irel, a floating crystalline being that pulsed with bioluminescence. "They possess weaponry classifications beyond your defensive capabilities. Intervention would only yen extend the suffering. The compact does not require us to participate in hopeless battles. You're condemning humanity to extinction," Victoria said quietly. "We are acknowledging reality," Zekthor replied. "Perhaps if Earth had invested more in military development instead of cultural pursuits, this situation could have been avoided. We recommend immediate surrender negotiations." Victoria looked at each ambassador in turn. Not one met her gaze. In that moment, she understood a terrible truth. They weren't refusing out of cowardice. They were relieved. Humanity had always made them nervous, too aggressive, too unpredictable, too willing to question the established order. The Krythians were doing them a favor. "I see," Victoria said. "This session is concluded." The holograms flickered out. Victoria stood alone in the chamber for exactly 10 seconds. Then she turned to her military advisor, who had remained silent throughout. "General Marcus Shaw," she said. "Unseal Project Nightfall." Shaw's eyes widened. "Your Majesty, if we activate Nightfall, there's no going back. The Geneva Conventions of Space explicitly forbid." "The Geneva Conventions assumed we would be part of a civilized galactic community," Victoria interrupted. "That assumption has proven false." "Unseal it, all of it." Shaw swallowed hard. "It will take 6 hours to activate the command protocols. You have 3. And, Marcus," Victoria's eyes were dark pits, "send encrypted burst transmissions to all Shadow Fleet commanders. Authorization code. Reaper protocol. Tell them the leash is off." Shaw saluted and left. Victoria returned to the window, watching the city below. Millions of humans going about their lives unaware that their queen had just declared a war the galaxy would never forget. 60 years ago, when humanity first encountered alien civilizations, Earth's leaders had made a decision. The galaxy was old, crowded, and paranoid. Species rose and fell based on perceived threat levels. Humanity had studied the patterns. Every race that revealed advanced military capability too early either joined the established power structure as subservient members or was preemptively neutralized. So humanity had lied. They had presented themselves as culturally rich but militarily mediocre. They had signed treaties limiting weapon development, accepted junior status in galactic affairs, played the role of eager students learning from their wise alien neighbors, and while the galaxy watched humanity's public face, In the shadows, in hidden shipyards orbiting dead stars and research stations buried in asteroid fields, Project Nightfall had grown. The first encrypted acknowledgments came in within the hour. Captain Daniel Cross of the merchant vessel Prosperity confirmed receipt. So did Commander Lisa Torres of the transport ship Harmony. Dozens more followed, ships that had spent decades playing their roles, trading goods, ferrying passengers, boring the surveillance officers who monitored them, on the bridge of the Prosperity. Currently 3 light-years from the Krythian supply depot at Kelos Station, Captain Cross read the authorization code twice to be sure. Then he turned to his crew. Lock down all civilian areas. Activate transformation protocols. Battle stations. His first officer, Lieutenant Jake Morrison, grinned fiercely. About damn time. The Prosperity shuddered as its outer hull plates retracted, revealing the warship beneath. Railgun batteries extended from concealed bays. The ship's reactor, operating at a fraction of its capacity for years, surged to full military power. Point defense systems came online. Stealth plating activated, bending sensor radiation around the hull. In 30 seconds, the merchant ship disappeared. In its place hung a human destroyer, bristling with weapons the Galactic Council had never seen. Cross studied the tactical display. Kelos Station showed as a massive structure, minimally defended. The Krythians had never needed strong defensive positions. Their navy was their shield. "Weapons lock," Cross ordered. "Multiple locks acquired, sir," Morrison reported. "Railguns charged. Fire." The Prosperity's railguns spat tungsten projectiles at a fraction of light speed. No energy signature to detect. No warning. Just solid metal moving faster than the station's sensors could track. The first round punched through Kelos Station's command center like tissue paper. The second through its reactor core. The third through its docking bays where 20 Krythian warships sat refueling. The station erupted in a chain reaction of explosions that lit up the system like a new sun. "Target destroyed," Morrison said, his voice shaking slightly. "Sir, we just killed approximately 40,000 Krythians." "Log it," Cross said flatly, "and plot a course to the next supply depot. We have 16 more targets before the week is out." Across human space, the transformation was happening simultaneously. The transport Harmony became a carrier, disgorging squadrons of fighter craft. The colony ship New Dawn revealed itself as a battlecruiser with enough firepower to level a planet. The research vessel Discovery was actually a spy ship, and it immediately began feeding targeting data to the fleet. The Krythian High Command received the first reports 3 hours after the attack on Kelos Station. Admiral Threckner read them with disbelief that quickly turned to rage. "Impossible. Human ships are barely armed. Their technology is centuries behind ours." His intelligence officer, a younger Krythian named Velkor, displayed the tactical data. "The evidence is clear, Admiral. These vessels were disguised. The weapons technology is unknown. Our shields are ineffective against their kinetic projectiles. They violated the weapons limitation treaties." "Yes, Admiral. It appears they have been violating them for decades." Threckner's 4 eyes narrowed. "Mobilize the 3rd and 5th fleets. We will crush this deception and finish what we started." But the 3rd Fleet never made it out of the Tarkos system. Ness, submarines, spacecraft operating on principles of stealth that made them practically invisible, infiltrated the fleet's staging area and launched torpedo spreads into the clustered warships. By the time the Krythians understood they were under attack, 37 capital ships were drifting hulks. The 5th Fleet fared even worse. They jumped into an ambush at the Kelvin Crossing, where human destroyers had laid a minefield of hunter-killer drones. The drones were brilliant, terrible things, self-guiding, learning, equipped with shaped charges designed specifically to exploit weaknesses in Krythian hull plating. In the Galactic Council chambers, emergency sessions ran around the clock. Ambassador Zekthor watched the tactical displays with mounting horror. "This cannot be accurate," he insisted. "Humans do not possess this level of military sophistication." Ambassador Earl pulsed a deep crimson, the crystalline equivalent of fear. "The data is verified. The human queen has unleashed something we did not know existed." "Zekthor, We have made a grave miscalculation. They signed the treaties. They agreed to weapon limitations. They lied, said Ambassador Felsara of the Oranid Commonwealth, her translator conveying her musical tones as words. For 60 years they lied. While we believed them to be junior partners in our civilized order, they were building an arsenal in secret. Zekthor pulled up classified intelligence reports, things the Council had kept from public knowledge. Reports of human ships in sectors they should not have been. Anomalous energy readings from supposedly uninhabited systems. Mining operations that extracted far more material than human industry required. They were preparing for this, he said slowly. From the moment they joined Galactic Society, they were preparing to go to war. Not just preparing, Felsara corrected. They were infiltrating, learning our weaknesses, studying our tactics. They joined the Council not as students but as spies. A new report flashed across the displays. The human assault on the Krythian logistics hub at Varan Prime. But this one was different. This one included intercepted communications. The voice was female, calm. Boarding teams, you are weapons free. Reaper protocol is in effect. No survivors, no exceptions. Make them regret every human life they took. The Council members listened to the audio that followed. Screams, weapons fire, bulkheads being cut open, and then silence, as human boarding teams moved through Krythian vessels like death itself, methodical and unstoppable. By the ancestors, Zekthor whispered. They are not fighting a war. They are conducting an extermination. Victoria Hayes sat in her private study, reviewing casualty reports. Human casualties, 3,742. Krythian casualties, over 2 million and climbing. The numbers were brutally efficient. General Shaw entered without knocking, as she had authorized him to do during wartime operations. Your Majesty, the Krythian High Command has sent a diplomatic overture. They wish to negotiate a ceasefire. Victoria did not look up from her tablet. Ignored and deleted, I assume. Yes, ma'am. As per your standing orders. Good. What is the status of Operation Reaper? Shaw hesitated. Your Majesty, I must advise that some of our methods are creating concern among the troops. The boarding actions, the zero survivor protocols. Concern. Victoria finally looked at him. General, my daughter is dead. 12 million humans are dead. The Krythians showed no mercy, expected no resistance, and the galaxy stood by to watch us die. I will not stop until they understand what it means to make an enemy of humanity. Yes, Your Majesty, but the Galactic Council revealed their true nature. They are not allies. They are potential threats who were simply waiting for someone else to eliminate us. Victoria stood, walking to a display that showed the current military situation. How many Krythian worlds have we interdicted? 17, ma'am. Their economy is collapsing. Food shipments are not getting through. Their civilian population is beginning to panic. Excellent. Begin psychological operations. Broadcast footage of our boarding actions on all Krythian communication channels. Let them see what happens to their warriors. Let them understand that their military cannot protect them. Shaw's face went pale. Your Majesty, that violates every convention of civilized warfare. Victoria turned to face him fully. General Shaw, do you know why humans are so good at war, ma'am? Because we never forgot how. Every other species in the galaxy achieved space travel and decided warfare was beneath them. They created rules, conventions, civilized limitations. But humans? We spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing each other. We know every trick, every tactic, every method of breaking an enemy's will to fight. She stepped closer. The galaxy thought we were harmless because we smiled and followed their rules, but we were never harmless. We were just waiting to see if we needed to be monsters. And now? Now they have seen what happens when you threaten our children. Execute the psychological operations, General. Let the Krythians spread the word. Let every species in the galaxy understand what it costs to make humanity desperate. The broadcasts went out within the hour. Footage of human boarding teams cutting through Krythian warships with ruthless efficiency. Intercepted communications of Krythian crews begging for mercy that never came. Tactical analyses showing how human forces exploited Krythian biology, using frequencies that disrupted their neural patterns, gases that targeted their respiratory systems. The effect on Krythian morale was catastrophic. 3 entire fleets surrendered without firing a shot. Others deserted, scattering into deep space. Within 2 weeks, the Krythian military machine that had numbered in the thousands of warships was reduced to isolated groups trying desperately to avoid human hunter-killer teams. In the Galactic Council, Ambassador Zekthor made a desperate proposal. We must intervene. If we do not stop this, the humans will commit genocide. Ambassador Eero pulsed uncertain patterns. They have superior tactics and weaponry we did not anticipate. Intervention could result in our own military forces being destroyed. Then we do nothing while an entire species is annihilated? The Krythians initiated this conflict, Felsara pointed out. They chose to attack a species they believed defenseless. They gambled and lost, but the human response is disproportionate, is it? Felsara's musical tones carried an edge. They are ensuring that no species will ever attempt this again. From a strategic perspective, it is actually quite elegant. Zekthar realized he was looking at the future, a galaxy where humanity no longer pretended to be weak, where every species would have to carefully consider whether any dispute with Earth was worth the risk. What have we created? He murmured. The answer came 3 days later, when Victoria Hayes herself addressed the Galactic Council. She appeared not as a hologram but in person, her flagship having jumped directly to Council space. The Council chamber fell silent as she entered, flanked by human marines in armor that made them look like mechanized nightmares. Honored ambassadors, Victoria began, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. I come bearing news. The Krythian Empire has surrendered unconditionally. Their high command has been taken into custody. Their military has been disbanded. Their weapons have been confiscated. Zekthor found his voice. And the Krythian people will be allowed to live under human oversight until we are satisfied they no longer pose a threat. Estimated time frame, 2 generations. You cannot occupy an entire species. We can and we will. But that is not why I am here. Victoria looked at each ambassador in turn. I am here to clarify humanity's position in galactic affairs going forward. She gestured, and holographic displays materialized, showing human military assets. Thousands of warships, weapon systems decades ahead of known technology, manufacturing capacity that dwarfed earlier estimates. For 60 years we lied to you, Victoria continued. We pretended to be less than we were, because we studied galactic history. We saw what happens to species that appear too strong too quickly. We chose discretion. We chose to build in secret. And now, we choose to reveal ourselves. This is a violation of every treaty, Zekthor began. Treaties you abandoned when we needed you. Victoria cut him off. When humanity faced extinction, you cited clauses and technicalities. You were prepared to let us die. So let me be very clear about the new reality. She stepped forward, and despite being one human surrounded by 17 species, she dominated the room. Earth will no longer hide its strength. We will maintain our military at whatever level we deem necessary. We will develop whatever weapons we choose, and if any species, any government, any entity threatens humanity again, we will respond with overwhelming force, not proportional force, not measured force, overwhelming force. You cannot dictate terms to the entire galaxy, Eero protested. I am not dictating terms. I am stating facts. You had the chance to be our allies. You chose neutrality. Neutrality is no longer an option. From this day forward, every species must decide, are you with humanity, or are you a potential threat to humanity? This is tyranny. No, Victoria said quietly. This is survival. The Krythians learned that lesson. I suggest the rest of you learn from their example. She turned to leave, then paused. One more thing. My daughter, Elena Hayes, died aboard the Providence. She was a scientist. She believed in cooperation, in building bridges between species, in a future where we all advanced together. Victoria's voice hardened. The galaxy killed that dream when it stood by and watched her die. So now you get the other version of humanity. The one that does not trust, does not forgive, and does not forget. Live with it. The human delegation departed, leaving the council in stunned silence. Ambassador Felsera was the first to speak. She means every word. Then what do we do? Zekther asked. We accept the new order. We strengthen our own defenses, just in case. And we pray to whatever gods we believe in that we never give humanity a reason to turn those weapons on us. Victoria stood on the bridge of her flagship as it prepared to jump back to Earth. General Shaw approached quietly. Your Majesty, we are receiving transmission requests from 43 governments. They all want to negotiate defense pacts with Earth. Of course they do. They are afraid. Is that what you wanted? Victoria looked out at the stars, thinking of Elena, thinking of the 12 million who had died, thinking of the choice she had made to become a monster so that humanity could survive. Fear is honest, General. It is more reliable than friendship, more durable than treaties. They will not attack us out of fear. They will not abandon us out of fear. And if another enemy rises, they will support us out of fear. That is a cold way to live. Cold keeps you alive, Victoria said. She touched the locket around her neck, the one containing Elena's picture. My daughter believed in a warm galaxy, full of cooperation and mutual respect. They killed her for that belief, so now they get my version instead. History will judge you harshly, Your Majesty. History is written by survivors, General, and I have ensured that humanity will survive. The ship jumped, tearing through space-time, leaving the Council and their comfortable illusions behind. Across the galaxy, human fleets maintained their positions, weapons charged, sensors scanning, ready for any threat. The prey had become the predator. The galaxy would never make the mistake of underestimating humanity again. Victoria Hayes had made certain of that, and though the cost had been terrible, though she had sacrificed her own soul in the process, she had accomplished her single, unwavering goal. Humanity would endure, forever vigilant, forever armed, forever ruthless when necessary. The human queen had unleashed her legions, and the galaxy would remember the lesson for 1,000 generations. There are things worse than death, worse than destruction, worse than any conventional defeat. There is the moment when you realize you have awakened something that should have remained sleeping, something that was happy to pretend to be harmless until you forced it to show its true face. In her private chambers that night, Victoria finally allowed herself to cry. For Elena, for the innocent person she herself had been before the war, for the humanity that could have been, if only the galaxy had chosen differently. But when morning came, she wiped her tears away, put on her crown, and went to oversee the empire she had forged in blood and fire. Because that was what queens did. They survived, no matter the cost.